Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makako, Dash, double honors to the other apostles, a great millstone that taught us this true citation. All y'all can pushing this word day in and day out doing this quick lesson. A lot of people are like, man, fuck working, fuck a 9 to 5, fuck a 2 to 10, fuck a 10 to 6, fuck shift work in general, especially with Gen Z. Gen Z, younger millennials that's born in the early mid 90s. They have this same rhetoric right here. You know, so let me play this clip.
I would rather be homeless than work a 9 to 5. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people. I know that in the traditional sense, both options suck, but at least when you're homeless, you have a lot more free time underneath your belt. When you're tied to a 9 to 5, that takes up so much of your week, so much of your time, so much of your energy, and you're not even getting anything out of it anymore. It's not really enough to survive, to pay your bills. It's like, realistically speaking,
I'm gonna pause it there. She right. The average 9 to 5, like 90% of them nowadays, it's not enough to keep you afloat. All it is you're just paying your bills, and you're back to zero. And you go work for another 2 weeks, you're back to zero, and you're waiting for your next check 2 weeks later, back to zero. Because after you pay your roof, you pay for a roof over your head, you pay for car insurance, you pay for car note, you pay for gas, you pay for lunch. Because these people, they ain't bringing their lunch to work, man. They going out to eat for the most part. Lunch. You pay for your child care. Damn, child care is another expense. And it's expensive as hell nowadays. It ain't like how it was in the 90s where, you can go to Margarita, the Latin lady, drop your kids off and you pay her, you know, $60 a week. It ain't like that no more, man. Then you got a gym membership. That's probably another $100. You know, so it's hey man, these people ready to crash out.
you're at your 9 to 5, 8 hours a day, and you're doing that 5 times a week. And a lot of employers make you clock out to take an hour for lunch. So an 8 hour day is looking more so like a 9 hour day.
I say more so like a 10-hour day, considering traffic, depending on which city you live in. But here in the DMV, the average work commute I think is like an hour or 45 minutes one way. So
And then your 2 days off aren't really your 2 days off, because you have to take that time to catch up on the that you weren't able to get done during your work week. It's not sustainable long term, and it's not a way to live. And I think if these employers continue to pay as little as they're paying, and if they continue to treat their workers like, you're going to continue to see more people resorting to van life. People are going to kick into the towel and say, this, I'd rather be homeless. Because at least when you're homeless, you don't have all of that weight and all of that responsibility on your shoulders.
This is the saddest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. I remember when van life became super popular, and it wasn't just people living a nomadic life. It was also people that, for example, would move over to Silicon Valley, and then rather than rent a home, the amenities at some of these social media companies and tech companies were so great. They had dry cleaning, they had gyms, shower, free food, meals all times of the day. The tech companies were basically incentivizing the tech workers in Silicon Valley to either recruit them to come work there by also giving them all of these amenities in addition to the salary, because they was making a crazy salary, which was one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to go into software engineering, but also so the amenities. So a lot of people would say, well, skip it. Since I have to be at work the majority of the day, I'll just go van life for a little bit. I'll save up my money and then buy the house that I really want to buy. Once I save all of the money, I'm gonna pay cash and I'm not even gonna pay, a mortgage. Now, this is what we've resorted to. People don't even want to work.
I would rather.
I mean, even though he's a coon nigga, Anton Daniels, one logical point that he made was that people don't want to work, man. You got worker burnout, man, amongst, the youth of today. And this is a Edomite woman, man. By her little monotone, bland spirit, right? This is a Edomite woman saying she don't want to work a 9 to 5, man. You know, yeah, you could blame social media. People seeing their favorite influencer. I'm sure she has a social media or knows someone that has a social media, and they talk about how her favorite influencer, glamorize her favorite influencer living a job-free lifestyle, making hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So it's the time we living in, man, where Esau, you know, where Esau, man, has to deal with,
I would rather.
people that's getting ready to fight, man. They're getting ready to fight this devil, man, his own people, man. Especially when this economy takes further. So let me get some precepts, man. Got a couple on deck, man. It's Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be anywhere for Egypt which the head or tail breaks or rush may do so. Ain't no work for America, man. Egypt's a Greek word meaning bondage, and this is the ultimate house of bondage, America, man. This is like our longest captivity, man, here in America, man. And they're making it at least, ancient world, ancient Egypt, we was making at least a day's wage. You ain't making shit here in America. Making crumbs here. Not even a day's wage, man. Because a comfortable day's wage is what, 300 a day? How many people making 300 a day, man? That's fucking... 300 a day is like a fucking hoop dream, man. For most people, man. Try making it to the NBA. Unless you got a trade, you making it in the trade type of environment. Yeah, you could get 300 a day quick because you're able to set your own rates. So, hey, the Lord said he's, Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. Let me get it, man. Second Ezra 15, 40, 49. I said plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty. Excuse me, I just woke up. Poverty, man. This is a plague, man. 9 to 5, not meaning shit, not being able to pay for shit. That's poverty, man. Famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death, man. So, hey, man, the Lord is sending these plagues as we speak, man. These plagues are spreading like wildfire, The days of fucking $500-$700 rent are gone, man. They've been gone since the 2000s, right? This demon Biden brought all these immigrants here and they had all these grants. Done raised up the rent, you know. All these migrants, man, done raised up the rent because they had free money anyway, so what the fuck? They single-handedly raised the rent, man. You know, this is done by design. The cost of living went up, man. It's Second Thessalonians 3:10, for even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. So you don't work, you don't eat, man. Plain and simple. So I'm gonna end it there till next time. You don't work, you don't eat, and you won't have a roof over your head, man. Like Megan, which by judging by her mouth, she more than likely like on some type of drug. So she'd rather be on the streets looking for drugs than you can tell by her countenance. She's either an alcoholic or a drug addict. More than likely, you can tell by the hairstyle. She'd rather be on crystal meth than working 9 to 5. So, that's what Antoine ain't gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna end it there till next time. Shalom.